Hello everyone, very warm welcome and good morning and welcome to 30 Minutes Tuesdays. Today's topic is Invocable Apex. I'm Siri Gauri from Salesforce Practice, Bangalore. To tell more about myself, I'm a platform champion. I have a blog at minioncodes.com. My hobbies are listening to songs and cooking. Okay. So what is Invocable Apex? Invocable Apex mainly has two things. One is invocable methods and invocable variables. Invocable methods are which are called using REST APIs, and it is used to invoke a single Apex method. And also, it has dynamic input and output variables that's to support and describe the calls. Also, the methods are annotated using this invocable method and variables are annotated using at invocable variable. So we have few modifiers for the variables, that is label, description and required. So if it is required, we have to make it to true like this in this example. The label is just, it is like giving some, what is that, name to that particular variable. Apart from name, this acts like we can easily identify this particular variable. And description is, it is just like how we give comments, what this variable is holding, why it is used, and all these things. And about the invocable method modifiers, we have label, description, and category. So label is, it is just like the name. In flows or in say in bots to identify this particular method, maybe because two or three methods may have the same name, but the label distinguishes it, and the description is just to provide a fair idea of what this particular method is doing. And the category tells us about the flow category. For example, there are many categories in flows. If we don't give any value to this particular category, it comes under uncategorized. So where all can we use this invocable Apex? Firstly, we can use it in process builder, next in the flows, and in the Einstein bots. So let us understand few considerations about this invocable method. Firstly, it needs to be static, and it can be either public or global. That is this access modifiers. And only one method can have this invocable method annotation. And this class must be, so this methods must be declared inside the outer class. It cannot be declared inside the inner class. And also other annotations cannot be used while we are using this invocable method annotation. That is for the methods. We can use invocable variable and invocable method annotations parallelly. So there are few other considerations. For example, if we have to invoke Apex using Flow or Einstein bots, we have a permission set actually. So that needs to be enabled inside the, that needs to be enabled for that particular user profile. And the generic object type is not supported for these invocable methods. We can use these invocable methods in the packages, but once we have added this particular method in the package, we cannot remove it. But there is some annotation called as at deprecated. We can use it to deprecate the older versions. So let us directly jump into three use cases. First use case is using a process builder. How to invoke Apex from process builder? Here the scenario is, for example, there is a company, so there are many companies. For each companies, there are employees who are the point of contact for sales. What happens, maybe these point of contacts may leave the company, or they are no more a point of contact for this particular sales. So what we do, we make that contact inactive. Once this is inactive, we want these contacts to get deleted. This is our use case. Then the second use case is to invoke Apex from ScreenFlow. Like we have Einstein bots for the uh, a partner portal or communities. So we are building something like in-app guidance or inside bot to view and delete cases. Uh, where this requirement comes is example we have say we have an Excel sheet with case numbers. So we cannot always go and search. So in that case, to view and delete the cases, we are using this particular flow. The third use case is to build auto responses to fetch the case details inside the Einstein bot. These are the three use cases. Let us go one by one. It's demo time. So our first scenario is using a process builder. So here, firstly, I will show how to write. So here we have declared it as public class. So either we can use public or global here in the methods. I'm using public. Inside the outer class, I don't have any inner classes here. And I'm using this annotation at invocable method. My return type is void. So you may all ask, why are we using Apex inside the process builder? Process builder has the capability just to update and create records, but we cannot delete. So we are using this functionality of calling an Apex to delete certain contacts. Here we can also do bulk operations in this invocable method. So what I'm doing, I'm passing the account ID to and querying the contacts where I have this particular field called if the to check whether the contact is active or not. If that is not active, I'm adding it to a list and I'm deleting it. So this is a very simple logic. So coming to the process builder, here I have the process builder defined for contact. So there are two conditions. One is if the contact is having account ID. If it does not have, then this will not get fired. Then if the is active, that is if the contact is active, only then we will fire. What happens is when there is account, when there are already four say inactivated contacts, what happens when I create a new contact which is active, the rest what all are inactive gets deleted. So this is the logic. So here I'm calling Apex action and I'm passing the account ID, that is the field reference, that is contact.account ID, to this particular variable parameter. So here my parameters is account ID. So after that, I'll just show how it works. So here I have an account with the three contacts. I'm creating one more contact. So all these three contacts are inactive. So I'm making this true and saving it. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'll create a new account. So here this contact will not be active. So I'll just save it. And I have a new contact which will be active. So once I create this, the old contact which is not active gets deleted. It is also true for say updation of contact. Say I have uh, two active contacts. What I want to do, I want to inactivate this contact and activate the other one. So I save it, hit this and say, so the one which was inactive gets deleted. This is the first use case. So the second use case is to build in-app guidance. So in the home screen, I have a inside case bot. So here I have two options. One is to view case and delete case. Initially, I want to view case. So I need to enter the case number. So this is my case details. That is, type is mechanical, case status is escalated, priority is medium. Okay. So now I want to delete one case. I'll just delete an open case. So this is 1027. When I click on delete case and give next and enter the case number to delete, successfully deleted. So let us go back to cases and check. So now in the open cases that 1027 is deleted. Now let us see how to build this. So for the first one, that is how to get the status. So initially we are declaring two invocable variables. One is for case input and the second one is for output. I'm making it required. Both are required. One is case number. The second one is case status. Status, what we are doing, we are actually querying the case number here. And then these are the fields we are having, like status, type, reason. So whatever is not null, we are appending that to a string and we are putting it inside a map. That is map of case number and the string which we are appending. So after that, we are checking if the map contains the key of this case number, then we are getting the value of that. And we are storing it in the output variable, that is invocable apex variable. And we are returning that. So here in the flow, so I have a screen flow which has the screen, that is copy or delete element. Then if there are decision variables, if the first option is chosen, that is sorry, I'll just show this. So this menu has two options. One is to view the case, second one is to delete the case. Once I click if the value equal to view case, then what happens? I have a screen flow to capture the I have a screen flow to capture the case number. Once the case number I get, I call the apex method here. So here we are seeing this get case status apex action. This is what I was talking about. This label can be seen. So whatever label we set here in the invocable method, that will be seen in the flow builder. So once I call this apex method, it returns as the case status. Then that will be displayed on this flow screen. Then the second one is if the screen type is delete case, if I have selected that radio button, then what I do, I show a screen to capture the case number, and then I call the apex method here. So again, I'm passing the case number, and just to know whether the case has been deleted or not, I'm getting the delete status here. This is the input variable and this is the output variable. Then after that, I'll just display a screen here to just show whether the case has been deleted or not. So this is our use case for the flow, and this is how it works as I showed. It has two options. If I click view case, the case can be viewed. If I click delete case, then the case can be deleted. So delete case earlier we have seen. Now the third scenario is Einstein bot. I have Einstein bot called Parrot. So in this Parrot bot, I have three menus: FAQ, track case, razor case. In this track case, I have used invocable Apex. So what I'm doing here is I'm asking a question. Please provide the case number to know more details. So I'm taking the input as case number here, and I'm passing this input to the Apex variable. So here I'm calling the Apex class. I will just show this. So this is the Apex class. So the flow, one more for the deletion also, I have the Apex class. That is the same thing, output and input variables I have. Once I'm querying the case ID, I'm just deleting it. If it has any cases with that case number, only then I will be deleting that. And I'm mapping that case number with a message called successfully deleted. Otherwise, I'll just give a error called as case not found and returning the output. So now coming to the Einstein bot controller, it is the same controller which I have used for flows as well as Einstein bot. I'm taking the input of case number and giving the output as case status. Based on the case number, I am querying it, and I'm passing the string, that is subject, type, what is the status, priority, what is the case reason, everything I'm capturing in the string and mapping it with the case number, and I'm returning it here. I'm assigning it to the output variable here, that is map name status is my map name. I'm getting the value of case input dot case number, and then I'm actually assigning it to this particular output variable and returning that variable. So this is simple logic. I will show how the bot works. Here we have option to preview Einstein bot. So it is giving me, hi, I'm Parrot, a digital assistant. I'm clicking track case here. I will just copy that case number. So I will just paste this case number. So it is telling sure, let me look into this case number for you. The type is mechanical, case status is escalated, priority is medium, thank you for contact. And again, the main menu is showing up. So this is done, this particular thing is done using the invocable Apex. So one more important thing I'll just tell, that is with respect to permission sets. So we have to search for the permission sets here. So we have something called as SFDC chatbot service perm set. Once we click on this, we can select Apex class access. We need to provide access for a particular class for which we are using invocable Apex. So similarly, we have it for flows as well. There's a similar thing like that. So this is all about my demo. I'm open to questions. If you have any questions, please do ask.
Thanks, Siri. Team, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or put it in chat window. Okay, I guess no questions. In that case, thank you, Siri. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, Shibu.